Welcome back to D20 Theater.
Hey.
We've just apprehended our primary suspect in the murder investigation, and currently the party is working with Nullius to drag her before Arbiter Kralun, who is getting ready to render his judgment.
I would like to also add that I called it.
No.
Wrote down so shady and totally did it when we first met them.
If you're right.
Oh, she totally did it!
Bro, she has legendary actions.
That's true.
She was a tough fight.
She obviously...
If you want to check it out, go to the last part of the last episode. It's pretty cool.
Alright.
Your boy turned into a flower shroud. So.
Indeed.
Your boy?
Your boy. So we're hoity-toiting her butt into this room.
You arrive at the games house where everyone is gathering.
Oh, that's where they're gathering.
That's where they're doing
Oh, wow, okay.
Because the primary thing they're rendering judgment over...
sketchy about
the primary thing they're rendering judgment over is did he cheat? Because that's the thing that affects everyone.
Yeah.
The murder is sort of a secondary investigation, because that really only affects... I mean, it sucks hard. It only affects a couple people, yeah.
While they're talking and doing whatever, can I be
about the
searching for the dice that you lost?
Where do you want to search?
Around the tables
Sure, roll your
and...
perception.
I think I would like to do that as well.
And-
Alright, she
I'll
has
have-
advantage.
Yeah, I'll have my hand.
There you go.
Right
That's
around
way
there.
better than me actually roll. You go, dude.
What was that?
He turned into an illithid.
23,
killed Vanessa.
But I'm also looking like around the stairs and stuff, and I'm also like eyeing up Gendry. Like maybe he has.
Eyeing him up.
Maybe he has the dice. Maybe
Alright.
maybe he looks just like
Maybe
he's like,
one too many stones.
he's like scared, you know, that I'm
Person.
looking
You didn't know
around.
that about the
or-
Feeling around, you notice that he and Flag are both kind of watching you
Oh,
as they do this.
I'm totally being like crawling on the floor,
It's
like
not
under the
so.
Several
table.
people are watching you, but you
Oh
don't
my
find a die on the
God.
ground or on the stairs.
Okay.
How?
And then
So
I
they're not
just, like-
staring at this flower shroud walking in with a body over its
Well, then you
shoulder?
come walking in,
Yeah.
and they're...
Yeah,
Stop
I like do
looking
it,
at
and
me.
then I don't find anything. I just stand straight up, and then I just walk over to the.
How long can you stay like that?
Like an hour, I think.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And what are you supposed to be?
He's our pet fern.
What is that?
The lady on his back, on her back apparently, or lady. We believe that she had something to do.
I lay her
with
down on a
the
table.
murder. As you can see, Exhibit A, and I like flourish it.
What is it?
It's her hair, her
Oh,
yellow
okay.
hair, like.
Oh.
And I lay it on the table, and I say, "She is
Everyone's like, what?
natural blonde."
Yeah.
So coming out
Which
to the table,
means that-
Arbiter Kralun sort of lowers his spectacles, and he says,
She is a
"Well, now, I'm afraid that I don't know what that means."
Well, if you let me finish. She's a natural blonde, which means that her hair is not red, which means that she has
You're coming
been
in
lying
You have
about
started.
who she is.
You are way
okay?
too worried about this.
More specifically, it means that she's from Nalwain.
Thephrim laughs. Before you say that, Thephrim sort of laughs and he says, "Well, I dye my hair. That doesn't mean you say that."
Yeah.
And the Arbiter looks up and he says, "Well, now."
Yeah, she should be put in jail just for that. Just for that.
How does
Hold
Hey,
on. We
sorry.
don't put people in
Sorry.
prison here
Damn.
just because of their ethnicity.
No,
Now,
it's because she was impersonating
Holy crap,
my
Haley.
people.
We don't put people in prison for that.
Colby, how
Now,
does
the Nalween are well hated well across the world. It makes sense that she wouldn't want to be known as one of them unless you got something more substantial.
Well,
how does Arbiter feel about Thala?
I don't know.
Okay.
She
Well,
doesn't
Do I
have an
see
alibi.
any expression on his face of relief that he may not be assassinated?
Innocent.
She doesn't have an alibi.
well, sir. What we have is, first, logical conjecture. Thaler works for Mervyn, and Thaler
22.
is a Narween. Narweens
21,
are
sorry.
allied with Cainith and opposed to Thrimica. It would be in a Narween's best interest to make sure that the group that
Got it. Sorry.
is more likely to, is less willing to trade solely with the crown of Thrimikar should be the one to actually get the deal on the land.
Oh.
That's the best piece. So, further, we have a statement from one of the... I'm sorry. Jeez, they shouldn't possibly... Now it has the name. What are you doing? Further, we have a statement from one of the priestesses who is visiting here that places one figure much taller than the other, and a second figure, more of my size, approaching the lavatory with the body of Branrir, where he was later found. This would match this woman and her employer. Further, we have word from another of the priests that Mervyn was seen leaving your office.
The flash rat's just nodding.
Tudaila says, what he says is true. We did see these things.
Having presumably threatened you to sway you in your judgment.
Well, now they don't have anything to threaten me with.
There's always violence. Everyone's favourite thing to threaten is violence. Would
And
you
so how does this tie in to the matter of the cheating?
Well,
Yeah, we weren't too worried about the cheating. That's the problem.
is that our principal goal was actually
Well,
the murder thing?
Perhaps if we were to search their office, we might find the missing dice.
Search their office. Look, I'm afraid that time is very short. We can go there. But that's the only, course of action we can take.
Okay, so you're out of game. You're saying that we have one more move that we can make.
Basically.
Of course, at this time
Right.
we're moving the entire party.
Yeah. So before we go anywhere, what we need, the one thing that we still need,
The dice.
is proof of cheating or not cheating. So far, what is apparent to just about everybody is that there was no cheating, and so we would need to find a loaded die, which would prove cheating, or it would give more credence to the thought of cheating. In fact, a loaded die would probably just do it right there. A loaded die clearly belongs to Thefram. It just turns out that die was missing after a really high-stakes game of which his victory was questionable. Then there it is. Yes.
What if Gendry and Flag were working with Mervyn? They slipped a loaded die into Thefram's thing. Thefram didn't even know it was loaded at all.
A mithril die
I don't
that they
really
just had
think
lying
he
around
did
that's the same
anything.
set as the one he carries?
Here's
No.
what I'm worried about. We didn't get the other half from Flag, the map, and if we had followed that map,
Yes, we
Then-
did.
No, we didn't.
no, we didn't.
I thought he gave it to us.
No,
showed it
he
to you.
wasn't going to give it to us.
He wanted he wanted Thaddeus' fake half.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, what if they mithril die, go in the mithril,
Well,
whatever.
a piece of refined mithril like that would be pretty easy to spot just in it's a node of natural ore. It wouldn't look like
load is
a
what
load,
it's called,
yeah. It wouldn't look just like just a big lump of smelted mithril sitting there. It would be earth and rock and stuff that has the ore running through it particularly richly.
I guess, but mithril with mithril would be less distinguishable than mithril with anything else.
Possible. So that is possible. The other
I
thing
don't
is
know.
that they don't have both halves of it, so they don't actually know where it is.
Yeah, I guess that's true. So that it can't be there.
So, if we want to go to Mervyn's, that makes sense, as far as that just being a place where they might still have the die, if it's anywhere. If we don't find the die, or something else that proves cheating,
And we're screwed.
then he didn't cheat. We have what is really quite probably the murderer right here. I would assume. Otherwise, it's very weird for her to be here.
She was.
That's a
clearly-
little meta, but it's very weird for her
She's
to be
clearly
here.
trained
otherwise.
in poisons.
Yeah, and Branrir could not have been killed
But also
really
meta.
any other way.
But also meta. Lafayette gave you poison.
Well, how are you gonna?
True.
How are
Yes.
you gonna bring that in?
I'm not gonna.
He's not going to. That's why I said meta.
And you can see that Luthier keeps eyeing Mervin like
Yeah,
he's waiting for
feeling.
something to happen.
Yeah, let's go to Mervin's
So
house.
Mervin's here with us?
Everyone's
Everyone's
Yeah,
here.
they're-
Yeah, Luthier thinks I already.
I would
him.
like to. Thela, is Thela awake yet? If not, I would
You can
love
wake
to.
her
I
up.
would
She's
love to.
And do we find anything
This
on her
particular
person?
face.
Entangle
Hair
her.
fronds.
She had some coins. She had a garrote. She had several
What
daggers.
is-
Choke wire.
She had.
He was strangled with it.
yes,
wasn't
he
a
was.
cord of rope.
Does it look like the rope I have? Suck it! Especially you! No, that's stupid evidence. Stop with the rope.
I was on your side, Sam. So.
God. I'm not that dumb.
Well, you're making it seem like that's the thing that blows this case wide open.
So far, it kind of is.
You're being a dead horse.
She's like this bizarrely violent person
Let's
who has
go.
a lot of
Let's
motive
go
to
to
kill the guy,
Mervin.
and she's carrying the weapon. Whatever.
Oh, hey, Toby, can you close the door on your way out? Good night.
God.
Heavens above.
Okay. So the arbiter says, "So do you have any evidence of cheating?"
Well, I think we're going to.
And I point at Mervin.
I believe what he means is that we're going to have to go to their place of employment to have a search.
Right then.
Do we need a warrant?
You have already turned out your pockets, yes? I say to Mervin.
He does so again. He takes his purse and he dumps it on the ground, and several trade bars fall out.
Can I attempt to grab one? I'm kidding.
As you do, Nullius
Yeah.
puts his blade right between you and the bars, and he says, "We are better than thieves here."
Not when he's
for
a
trying.
plant.
And as you say that, he looks at you and he says, "You know, I could use a few more flowers for a lovely lady back home."
Here you go. Now I don't have to kill you.
I give him even more.
That will fit very
I give him even more, and they bud back up.
Alright, as you give him the first one, he puts it kind of in the pin that holds his cloak together. As you give him the second one, he crushes it and drops it, and he says, "Do not try such wicked deeds again in my presence."
Arbiter, we have enough.
I like it.
Arbiter, we have enough evidence for the murder, but we do need some more for cheating. So let us go to Mervin's office.
Very well, but if there's none there, I'm afraid I will have to render my judgment.
I understand.
Well, where would you suggest we look, Arbiter?
No, not.
Dang it.
He says, "Right there, let's move it on to Mervin's office."
Mervin look nervous at all?
He kind of glances around. He looks
I am
curious
keeping a
at this,
special eye on him and Thela.
this turn of events. When you get
I'm
to
in the
office,
back of the line.
All right. When you get to the office, the arbiter opens the door and says, "Right there, well, any of y'all who wish to search, y'all go ahead."
I'm gonna take up my usual
Wow.
searching.
I'm
gonna
gonna
assist
stand at
you
the
in
door
this.
Okay.
since
My
I take up the
perception
whole
is
door.
+4. Anyone wanna?
Are we rolling perception or
I think I've got
investigation?
smaller.
I'm
Investigation.
currently y'all's
Dang.
muscles.
I'm gonna help the wizard out.
All right.
Okay.
Let
I'm
me
gonna
just
use-
let me just do that then.
I'm gonna use one of my cards.
Okay, investigating.
That says
That's
I don't
a-
have it right now,
Good.
but it says that I can
Me
replace
too.
any of my ability
Really?
rolls with
20.
my
No, he rolled
charisma
okay.
based rolls instead.
Well,
And
you
a
already
one.
did it, so I'm
So
gonna let you
that
go.
would make it a 20
Yeah.
instead of a
Yeah,
straight
you
15.
convince someone nearby to actually help you out with the search.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's a 24 on that investigation.
So you find all sorts of things. You find all sorts of letters and contracts and things. One thing that you do find
Secret door.
is a receipt for payment for services rendered to Thala. You find several receipts for various bits of work to Thala, and they're all very detailed and itemized.
Except
Again,
that one.
There's one that's dated with the night of Ranmir's murder that is marked for services rendered, and she was paid far more than any of the other days.
Does it say who
Okay.
paid her?
Who paid her? It says that it's from the High Mountains Company, or the Deep Road, whichever one.
High Mountains.
I'm
Oh,
okay.
okay. Then just kind of display
But you do
that.
not find any loaded dice or any dice at all.
Check the coats.
What was your roll?
Check the roll code.
Oh man. Yeah, like who cares about cheating if we found the
The
murderer?
arbiter nods. He says, "Well then, seems there was foul play." And he goes up to her and slaps her across the face.
Oh,
She wakes up,
snap!
and she says, "Ah!" And he looks around and he says, "Guards, take him into custody too." And they go over and they take Mervyn into custody.
You thought they were gonna get the shrub.
And as they do so, Mervyn sort of just begrudgingly accepts it, and he says,
I would have gotten away with it.
Lord for you meddling kids in
And
your
your
bush.
in your bush. Red
"You're
herring.
quite a
Edge.
lot." He says, "You're quite a lot smarter than I gave you credit for. I'll give you that." He says, "It's a shame though. Old man wasn't even supposed to die. We was just trying to put the scare on him. This wasn't a murder. It was manslaughter. Old man's just too weak." And Bello at that leaps forward like he's gonna punch him, and two guards grab him and hold him
Stop
back.
him? Are you kidding me?
Why would you stop him?
Yeah.
If you weren't trying to murder him, then why were you roughing him up?
The elf says, "We wanted him to sell to us. We weren't gonna go through the tunnel. He said something about the temple was important to his son or something." And Mervyn says, "Yeah, well, we couldn't afford to build around it, and he wasn't willing to budge enough for us to afford. So we were planning on moving around. We kept offering him more and more money, but he wouldn't take it. Said it was too important. So we started threatening him, hoped to scare him a little bit. We weren't going to do nothing, you understand, but we wanted to scare him. Your friend here," and he gestures to Thala, and says, "she came down to make sure, she brought us quite a bit of gold to make sure that we got the road, so that Kenneth could get supplies. See, Luthier over there, he ain't going to deliver none to Kenneth."
What
Oh,
do
unfortunate
Flag
for
and
Kenneth.
Gendry look like? Are they sweating? Are they mad? Or
Yeah, and does Bello look like that makes sense to him? This news that he's heard before? Like the whole, he doesn't want them to go through the temple
Yeah.
thing? Okay.
Flag
Yeah,
and
this all
Gendry
seems
just are
totally
listening and
reasonable.
watching.
what?
They're
Flag and
just
Gendry are listening and watching.
Okay.
They're just watching. That makes sense to me. Alright.
What about Thefrin?
Thefrim's just kind of looking around. He's kind of surprised
Yeah.
that these two did that.
Thala, underhandedly edging on a war between Thermocath and Kenneth. Why?
The war's already on. I'm not edging it on. I'm making sure that we have the decisive power to win. My people need to bring our vengeance upon the Neckbreaker.
Why?
He killed thousands.
It
A
was
neck
rather horrifying.
A neckbreaker is an
totally
orc,
did.
right?
No, the Neckbreaker is human.
Left the Neckbreaker. He's a Lith. He's a native of Lythe, and he set their sacred grove on fire.
And currently he is Lord Diplomat of Thermocath.
Yeah.
So, you are going to let Kenneth slaughter
That's right. We did.
many
like,
more
the
innocent
force
lives
entire
because
ran.
of one person's
And
past
stole the sword.
deeds.
So many.
Not
lives.
innocents. Soldiers. From the way I hear it, Thermocath turned their backs on their king and executed him in cold blood, installing a new traitor king. Everything she's saying is technically exactly true.
Except traitor.
Yeah.
Traitor is a very subjective thing in this.
And
instance.
I'm biased, so I can't say anything.
Yeah. So they removed the pawn of his seam and installed a true son of the land.
So the stories go.
Fine.
Everyone invents their own stories.
So, well, now we have these two taken care of. What happens now?
And the arbiter says, "Well, we found no evidence of cheating, so I suppose that means the land goes to Thefrin."
I point at Thefrim.
Thefrin looks at you and says, "Look, I have no idea what you're trying to tell me."
You're going to want to drop out.
I
of that if
believe
you want
he's
to contribute to the
asking-
conversation.
How much you're going to sell it for?
As I go, I get smaller and smaller and smaller.
Walk out of a pile of flowers.
Yeah, and just flowers just fall off. No, I'm trying to say that Thefram is missing a dice that he just so happened a die that he used in his dice set during that game. So
Yes, I am, and if anyone sees it, I'd be very grateful for it.
Do you have it in your back pocket?
Wait. Oh crap! Never mind.
This guy.
Gendry.
He was the only one who wasn't drunk, so you can make it not look like you're accusing him.
Fair point. Gendry, you were one of the only sober participants that evening. Did you happen to see it drop anywhere?
Well, I didn't see nothing nowheres. I know that he was rolling them dice, but I didn't see where it went none.
Yeah, insight.
15.
Honestly, you don't know if Gendry has
Oof.
the capacity for deception.
That's true.
Okay.
I just crit that insight check and it didn't even matter. Thanks, though. That's pretty cool.
Goofy.
Oh no! Come back!
I mean, it's not terribly bad. I mean, Thefram, I don't really...
Right. So out of character, plan that we could have. It's unfortunate that the Thefram gets the land, but he's also in debt. What we do know is that Flag has access to a good portion of the mine.
No, we don't know if he's going to get the land or not.
Because he's got access to half of the map to the Mithril
Yeah,
node.
but he
Yeah?
can still technically.
So,
oh, that's true.
which, I mean, he doesn't have to share
So
with
stay low.
Bello, but it would make him kind of a terrible friend. if
Is
he didn't
Maybeck
do
with
that.
us?
And I realize he's not super friends with Bello, but that would be sort of awful if he just kind of left his lover's son in the lurch like that. So, my thought process here is that
He's a
Bello
gambler.
and Flag could kind of help
For what?
This partnership.
help Thefram finance
Together.
because obviously it's now going to be a little bit more costly to buy because High Mountain doesn't have their leadership anymore. So I don't know if they're in a position to be making any kind of deals.
They're really not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you said,
So
he's
he's gonna
he's
gonna have to sell to Deep Roads, but he's gonna be selling kind of at a loss, which is a bummer. But if he had some extra collateral like a mithril node, then now load
Or
keep doing
a
it wrong.
business
No.
for the road.
No.
Well,
But
then
if he
you
had
have to give them the other
Offer
piece
it.
of
Right, but
Don't shut him down.
Yeah,
I
don't
want
give
him
him
to
the
offer it.
mithril. Give him the store.
He's a gambler.
look, you're gonna have to.
But he'd have
Do
to
that.
invest in that.
Yeah,
He'd have
he
to
doesn't
have
have
some
money.
capital to invest.
But they do have the mithril. Like Flag has a good half of it. The other half belongs to Barak, and so Barak is family. Bello is family. Flag was almost family. It seems like the three of them could kind of agree to share this bit of mithril and help Thefram. I realize they're not super good friends, but help Thefram because he didn't appear to be at fault in any of this. He might have cheated on the game, but that doesn't mean that he killed Branrir. In fact, it appears that he definitively did not.
Well, it's not that we're worried about the murder. The murder is solved. We need to worry about who
I know. And so, but I'm just saying worst case scenario. Then Thefram gets it. But those three people could each be made aware of the mithril load. Okay, mithril load.
LODE.
LODE. Yeah.
Because an ore is just a single chunk.
Right.
A mithril ore.
Right. A load is where a mine
mine.
could
It's
be
just
placed,
yeah.
but a mine does not currently.
So I guess I'm confused.
Yeah.
2 pieces of the map. They can't get to the place
Correct.
without both together,
pieces,
right?
yes.
Correct.
So they don't have a piece of anything yet.
Correct. So I'm saying that Barak has one, Flag has another, but both of them are connected to Branrir, who now is gone, as is Bello. And so it seems like the three of them could, it's not perfect, it's not what any of them really wanted,
Right.
but could each have an equal share in this mithril, which they could probably help use to help Thefram pay for, or recover some of his losses with the road, which helps Bello because it means it doesn't have to go through the temple. That's good. It probably helps Flag recover some honor, to be honest, to help out an old friend and or lover, and help with a nice lucrative trade deal. it seems like it's not a total loss, even if Thefram was
So
cheating.
what does this mean for you? What are you going to do? You're talking a lot about what
Yeah,
could be.
yeah,
I know.
Let's
There we
wait.
go. I got
Who does the
nothing for right
What
now.
does the arbiter say?
The arbiter says, well then, it seems we've solved the matter of the murder, and I'm glad for that. It also seems that there seems to be no evidence that Thefram would have cheated, and in absence of such evidence, I must give Thefram the land. Thefram, the land is yours to do what you please with.
What do you?
Immediately, Luthier runs over and starts discussing with him. You can hear the two talking, and you hear that Luthier is offering him, as the rest start to disperse, Luthier is offering him 10 mithril bars for the land.
Right,
Okay.
as he mentioned
Not
that he would.
terrible.
It's
as
not
Stefan
terrible.
mentioned that he would, yeah.
Yeah, it's still
What
under.
was that, like
was it
10,000 gold, something like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
a lot of money?
You also know that 9 mithril bars was what he was dealing with Branmir for.
Yep.
Because that extra mithril was going to be what they used to build around the temple.
So he's going through.
He's going to have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Thefram has
Yeah.
land.
So.
Because Thefram can't settle for less, he doesn't have anything.
So I guess I'll go over and speak to Stormy, you weirdo. Barrock's right here, right?
Right.
Is he still in his guise as the priest?
He is.
I guess I'll go over and just quietly say it's unfortunate that we weren't able to find any sign of any cheating, so that I have to get off the table. That we weren't able to find any sign of cheating. If Thefram is forced to accept that amount of money, he's going to have to go straight through the temple. It's possible that your map. Oh, by the way, Flag has the other hand.
You see, he looks
Oh.
you see, he looks up for a moment, but not Flag. He's looking at the arbiter as the arbiter says, so then, it seems we'll sentence Mervyn and, of course, this Thala to life of hard labor in the deep, or pilgrimage of hate, whichever they wish to undertake. And both of them shake their heads, and Mervyn says, we'll take the labor now. So they put them in cuffs, and immediately Barrock looks to you and he says, excuse me, and pushes you out of the way and goes walking towards Thala, where he pulls a dagger and plunges it into the back of her neck. Immediately, 2 guards subdue him. One of them takes the butt of his spear and slaps it across his face as a bloody streak runs across his forehead. The other takes his halberd and again takes the butt and plunges it right into his nose, knocking it upwards, breaking his nose, and he's knocked down. As he's there on his knees, they grab him by the arms, and he looks up and he smiles and he says, guess I'm taking labor too. It was worth it. And they drag him off.
As they're dragging him off, then I go over to him and say, may I give it to his...
I already gave it to Bello.
Good.
He's a good kid. Find the other half and take care of him. And they drag him and Mervyn off to serve lives of hard labor.
Oh, so
There
did
you
they
go.
like die?
Oh,
yeah, he
Okay.
stabbed her right in the
She did.
back of
That's
the
what
neck.
I figured,
She's
but
dead.
Yeah.
it just seemed like this,
Okay,
this
cool.
happened.
So they don't have to go thirdsies on it anymore. That's nice.
Why did he decide to just kill Thala?
He wanted blood for blood.
Yeah,
because
it's,
his
she
wound brother
totally
was
killed his wound brother. Right, so then
That's
now
what he
it's...
said earlier, is he wanted to make sure they paid blood for blood, and they were sentencing her to life. And that's not...
That's not good
Somebody
enough.
wanted.
Right.
Yeah. They
She
would have
probably
sentenced her to
would've-
death if she had taken the pilgrimage, but she didn't. No. She probably could have.
She probably would have just ran away.
She probably could have survived for a while
That's the thing,
down
she
there.
probably just would've left.
Yeah.
And then they'd gone shame, and she'd have gone, I don't care, and then left. Oh no, dishonor. So now, just Bello and Flag would have to go in on that.
So now I guess we have
Mithril.
to talk to them, huh?
Alright, and you can see they're both starting to leave, as is everyone else.
So you speak to both of them together, do you think?
Yeah.
Bello, Flag,
They both turn.
if we could speak with you for a moment.
They look at each other with a bit of contempt, and then head your direction.
I know this isn't quite what either of you would have wanted. But I'm afraid it's where we are. And now, as it is, Thefram is not going to be able to have the funds necessary to go around that temple, which is unfortunate. However, I think you both know that you were in possession of something that could change that.
They look at one another, look back at you, and
Or at least half of something that could change that.
Fleg's eyes light up and he says, "Well, well. You got the other half, boy? You gave it to him.
Yes.
Huh. Boy, you know I don't like you." Bello nods and he says, "No, I know you don't. And I don't much like you either. But feel safe at Temple." And he takes a look and he puts the map together. After looking at it for a moment,
Flag gives him the other half.
Yeah, they're kind of looking at it
they
again.
look at it together, and Fleg says,
Put some sellotape on the back of it.
"I never saw no Mithra out there. Well, I suppose I'll send a surveyor. I'll get right on it." And he goes to get a surveyor and he says, "Don't worry, boy, you'll get half. If you want to spend your half to save some silly old temple, well, I guess folks have done worse things." And he goes off to go get his. He goes off to get a surveyor to go check out the area. So surveyor should be back in about 2 days. We'll see what he says.
Make sure it's someone you can trust.
Oh, it is. It is. He heads on.
And I say again to Bello, and I'm sorry that this isn't what you wanted, but it might be a way for you to save the temple at least.
He nods and he says, "Well, that is what I want." So,
Flag, I'm
Flag.
glad your animosity toward Velo hasn't clouded your judgment. I think you have regained some honor this day.
we got a long way still to go for that.
You've still got a life to live.
Well, not much of it. Suppose it depends on how much mithril we find here.
Good hunting.
If you've no more business then,
Not
I'll
as
go
of
get
yet.
my surveyor. And he heads out the door.
All right.
Well, let's talk to Thefram before he sells out to.
Alright.
Oh yeah. Yeah, just to let him know, like, hey, someone might be approaching you with some.
Oh, they've already been chatting.
No, yeah, Thefram and the
No, Luthier.
Deep Roads guy.
Yeah, they're
Luthier.
still talking, and
Oh.
you see that Thefram's holding a pen and he's about to sign.
Yeah, there might be some extra coin or extra bars headed your way soon to help protect that temple.
He holds up the pen and he says, "How many are we talking?"
That's Luthier or Thefram?
Thefram. Lufir's the one who talks like this.
Yeah,
That's right.
we're not entirely sure yet. It's an undetermined bit of.
At least
Bit of
5.
Well, yeah, you don't know that at all.
Well, sounds like a bit of a gamble, and I am a gambling man.
Told you.
However, I also have several debtors breathing down my back.
Do you have 2 days?
I could buy it.
For how much? Or you could play for it, I suppose.
One of you,
Mm,
I'll play you in a game of Dwarven Train.
There you go, Sam.
The game that started all of this.
Let's roll for it.
No,
No,
I'm
Sam
playing
really
it.
wanted
Sam
to.
really wanted
He
to.
says, if I win, you take on half my debt.
How much debt are we talking here?
We're talking 4 mithril bars.
Oh,
So is that 4 grand?
no.
He says, if you win, you know what? I'll be nice. And if I win, I'll give you 2 days. 3. Just to be nice.
To pay back the 4,000?
No, 3 days to to get this money that you're talking about that you said might be here in 2
Oh,
weeks.
right.
We don't have that money.
Yes, I know.
He says, if you win, then I'll give you 2 weeks to find a way to pony up the funds.
Do we need 2 weeks? Well, I mean,
We might.
I'm gonna take 2 weeks, but do we need 2 weeks in order to?
We might.
Just wait till we kill the dragon. And then just
We were gonna go see about the dwarven temple. That was kind of a side quest that we had the potential to do. We just couldn't right now because murder mystery. So we could do that, which probably would be at least somewhat profitable. We could scrape together something.
Do you agree?
Wait.
And just so there's no accusations of cheating, he takes it down to the games house and he says, "Flag, let me borrow 2 sets of dice." He has you use your own dice, but
Can I? Do you have regular dice? Because I can't do it with numbers
yes,
like
right
this.
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Grab them for me, Brandon.
You want the little one?
It'll throw you off if you
The
have to
little
look at
ones
Yeah, if I
numbers
have to
and
look at
not-
numbers and not
Yeah.
dots.
The big dots are better.
Yep, I like big dots.
All right, great. Would you mind sitting out of the way? So
I would not, sir.
roll here next to Sam.
Excuse me?
I can roll here next to Sam.
Who's Sam?
Open it. Yeah, who's Sam?
Who's Sam?
Sam is my friend who comes
I-
to play D&D every Monday.
Physical dice.
Am I rolling 10? Right?
10 dice. Make sure
Yeah,
you
but
have 10.
so is Oz.
Right.
All right.
Do you want to go?
We're talking about repositioning the physical people.
I don't want to
All right.
Wait, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
All right. Ready?
No.
No, I don't think that's 10. 2.
Yes, it is.
2,
Hey, true.
4, 6.
Let me
8,
count
that
yours.
makes sense, yeah. 2, 4, 6, 8.
10. I just realized that would be a really easy way to cheat. You
Yeah,
just
exactly.
9 dice.
But I'm gonna roll
say
them.
that too.
Okay.
Osborne rolls the dice just in case.
They all seem balanced.
Holy crap, they're all
I know,
threes.
right? I got it all out of the
It
way.
was. All right. Hold on. Now,
Really, you throw
Thank
one.
you.
uh,
Just starts with
you want to play the part of flag here and do the honors?
Alright.
Wait. Does it have to be 6s or any number?
Any number.
Now everybody keep a close eye so there ain't no cheat.
Ah!
Now on your marks, you get set. Stop the train.
Stupid hope.
Wow.
Oh, that is poopy, dude. Don't worry about him. Worry about yourself.
Oh, done.
Wow.
Oh my god.
He says, well.
Oh.
Looks like you're not as
Ow.
fast on the roll as your friend. A good game.
Wait. Double down.
I can't afford to double down.
Yeah, I didn't think.
He says,
2
you
days,
want
huh?
4 weeks? By that time, I'd be in debtor's prison. Now, tell you what I will make with you. You take on 2 mithril bars of debt, even if you win. And I'll give you 2 weeks, just like he would have had if he won. If you lose, you take on all my debt.
All this means is we have to go to the mine. It's a new adventure. It's a side quest. Let's do it.
I'll take half a mithril bar. If we win.
No.
We're done. That's it. We lose.
He says, enjoy that 4 mithril bar
Yeah.
debt there. Oh.
That sucks.
Oh, it's not
There's
that
no
much.
one to play the dungeon game.
You said his whole debt was.
No, his whole debt
Oh, it's
is
8.
8.
8.
That's
Well,
he's gonna die. He
Well, now
says,
it's only 4.
Yeah, we have
and he
about
has
1
you,
and a
it was
so-
with a bunch of witnesses. He
I
has you
signed.
sign the contracts and things. And he, oh my glasses. And he says, well, what a good day this has turned out to be. And he stands up and whistles as he leaves.
Keep him over there.
Tudila's waiting for you outside the gambling house with her arms crossed as you leave, leaning against the wall.
Hello.
So, how was your gaming?
It was really bad. Okay, this is not a place for good
we may
citizens.
have
That's what I try to tell everyone.
we may have bought your temple enough time.
Kinship with this Tobiah.
Yes, well, if he sells, there's no way they'll be able to afford. I've had a look at their books. I talked to Luthier. I did everything I could to convince him. There's no way he'll be able to afford this.
I know.
We have to find another way.
We have another way coming, perhaps.
She says, well, what is it?
Let's see what she's gonna say before Metagamer over here.
This
Yes.
isn't metagaming.
What the heck?
What are you going to say? She says, what is it?
Bello, and Bello's working on something. He thinks he might have a lead on enough bars to be able to tip the balance, but it's going to be 2 days before he's sure.
Oh, you're talking about the mine.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the temple.
No.
She says, well, then I'll keep in touch with Bello. But it's never good to just have one plan. Let's have a backup.
We're going to go into the temple and clear it out and see if there's something there that would be of particular value to this city.
Good. Great minds think alike, it seems, though fools rarely differ. She says, if you'll go to this temple, get it in working order. Arthra has already summoned a contingent of dwarves from the deep. Soldiers who will defend the temple in case of the most dire need. Perhaps if we can get it working, if we can get it back to its original condition, they'll see that here in this town, in Krari's Pass. Perhaps they will change their minds. If not, well, our soldiers will do what they have to do. And they will die defending that temple.
I see. Well,
I'm down.
I suppose we're off for a bit of a temple jump. The citizens of Aberdully, however, are outside, and they're going to need supplies.
Nullius is standing there and he says, don't worry, you have made a friend this day to the city.
Good.
Arbiter Kraylun has already assured me that as thanks for what you've done, he will send your people supplies. He is speaking with both the young mother, Baruha, as well as some of the other mothers in the region. They're going to be providing for your people as best they can. I thank you as well. You freed me up here. I go back to the line. There, I'll meet with Agate. He's coming in for a tour.
He's going to the line.
Who's Agate?
The king.
How old is he now? Like 85?
No, he's not that old. It's only been like
The king of
We,
what?
we scaled
years.
it back from
King
40
of what?
Yeah, it's only been like
Thermocap.
25 years since the third rise. So he was in his early
usurper
20s
king,
then, so
the
he's
king
probably
is
like
gone.
48 or so.
Oh, great. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Old enough to where it's unfortunate that he doesn't have an heir at
Should
this
take
point.
this spell book.
Yeah.
Who's public?
And he's not
Broderick.
married either.
Oh, wow.
You have a
Fair
bunch of
point.
scrolls. I don't know if I just want
You
to.
know where they are?
I don't know if I just want to loot the poor guy though.
He's
He's
off to life. in
Off
prison.
to
he's
life
not
in
good.
prison. So, and he has a shield with a lot of cool daggers. So,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We can clean up his hotel room. That's
I'm
fine.
assuming then that you are doing that while they're having this discussion.
That sounds good to me.
Uh,
I will retire for the
I'll,
evening.
I'll go with you. 'Cause, you know,
Well, I'm
we
bored
shouldn't
and
go
I wanna
alone.
Take
Take this.
take
I'm gonna go
this
sleep.
monk.
I'm gonna go sleep too.
Nullius says,
I'm gonna go sleep.
but I will tell him that
I
of your plight.
don't-
With luck, he will send me more knights, and I can come down and do my best to defend the West. If you can stay here in Krari's Pass, keep your people safe against whatever ills befall them. Make sure that no more orcs come.
Just as soon as we're back from the temple, we can post up here for the time being, at least.
Good, good. Then I will take some knights and see what I can do. Ideally, Agate will listen to my pleas, and he will grant me what we need.
He's fair. I believe he will do what you ask. I ask of you to keep defending him and make sure nothing happens to him.
Of course I will. It is my sworn duty. Second only to defending the church itself. He says, in addition, I have been speaking with many of your people that you brought with you from Abu Dhabi.
Yes.
I've learned much of these orcs and what you experienced. I believe that Agib will send me aid.
Good. Safe travels to you, brother. Walk always in the light.
And to you, stay under the sun.
I'm gonna start making some alchemy stuff. So.
Thaddeus, you don't think that if he were to send some knights over, or just men, to help with the orcs, that it would draw them thin on the line?
I don't think so.
Because if the orcs were sent as a distraction from Caneth,
Oh, the orcs wouldn't work with Caneth.
still, well, if Guayron was somehow allied with Caneth, it could happen.
Oh, Narwain, I think is what you mean.
Norway?
Narwain's the one that's allied with Caneth. Yeah, Narwain and the Outlanders are allied with Caneth. Guayron doesn't really care.
Yeah, the orcs are like a free agent. I don't think they like.
Well,
Caneth.
what elves worked with the orcs before?
Oh, that was Guayron.
That's what I was talking
Okay,
about.
yeah.
Because I'm still along the early
Yeah.
civilization. Alright, so I guess I don't know. The Guayronians or the Norway?
If Guayron was to cast their vote in favor of Caneth, that would be unfortunate.
I
for a lot
know
of people.
it's a long shot, but we need to keep our minds open.
No, I agree.
What are y'all stressing about?
I would just.
There's a war on.
Well, yeah.
That thing. I don't know if you've noticed.
I'm not in here. I'm alchemy.
Oh, okay.
No. So in the spellbook, you find 15 spell levels worth. So you can choose, 15
dang.
first level spell, however you want to split it up,
Wow.
of wizard spells
You're
of
welcome.
the enchantment and illusion schools. They
Okay.
have to
Oh,
be
it
those two schools.
must be a Flynn book.
And that could include, if you like, spells from the Book of Lost Spells. However,
Ooh.
any spell from that book counts as one spell level higher.
Gotcha.
Oh, cool.
You said that was enchantment and
Or
illusion.
That's right.
How many
Arcane trickster,
bottles
excuse me,
of?
arcane trickster.
Yeah.
How many
with
bottles
daggers.
am I able to create as an alchemic adept?
Oh, you have Alchemical Adept?
Yep.
How many spell slots do you have?
Well,
Currently.
1, 2,
How many spell
3,
slots?
4,
Slots,
5,
slots,
6.
slots.
Not
2.
spells.
Okay.
You
there
have
you
2
go.
spell slots of
Yes.
what level?
1 and 2. What? I have
How many
4
spell
slots of
slots?
1, 2 slots of 2.
And you haven't used any today at
I
all?
haven't used any.
Oh, alright. Well, let me pull up the Obsidian Portal. Because
I was trying to get to it, but I
takes
couldn't
an
get to
hour per spell level.
it. Mm-hmm.
Obsidian Portal.
Of any spell I want or certain ones?
No, of certain ones.
Okay.
I'm gonna read off the ones that you can do.
I'm gonna write this down.
Yeah, you might want to write this one down.
Can you
Okay.
copy spells into a spellbook from scrolls?
You can?
Yep.
It's the same cost as normal,
Right.
but yes, you can.
Yeah. And unfortunately, those aren't the ones that are cheap for you.
Naturally.
But, and, I'm not
Alright,
there to see you
go.
doing that, so don't worry about it.
Alright, pulling it up.
So have fun.
Alchemy, potions, and scrolls.
Please say fairy fire.
Fairy Fire is one of
That
them,
was
but
the
I can't
chair.
remember if it's one of the druid ones that you can do. So, alchemical admixtures, druid. You can create an alchemical admixture of any druid spell if that spell has the alchemy tag and you have the spell prepared. So it has to be prepared. And it's in your book of alchemical formulas. When you take the feat, you get the book of alchemical formulas holding the formulas for 1 cantrip and 2 first level spells of your choice from the druid list. So,
Fairy fire and cure wounds.
so those are the first levels you're choosing?
Yeah.
Both of those are on the list.
Nice.
And the
Those are both
cantrips that are on the
excellent
list are Acid Splash, Friends, Poison Spray, Produce Flame, Resistance, and Spare the Dying.
Acid
Is that on the
splash.
druid list, though?
You just said it was.
But is it on the
I
druid
don't think so.
list?
No,
I think
it's
a
not.
wizard spell.
Then,
And
yeah.
isn't it a cantrip you have to know too?
No, it's just you
Oh,
learn
no,
the
just-
cantrip
Oh, yeah, it's a little
only
bit of
as an
everything.
alchemical adept.
Gotcha.
You don't need to
So
learn it to
2
actually-
cantrips and 2.
No, 1
first-
cantrip and 2
one-
first levels.
It's the reverse of magic initiate.
Yeah.
It's highly inefficient to do.
I know
that
poison
way.
spray and produce flame are both on the druid list.
Well, I'm probably gonna do produce flame or poison spray.
Cool.
Produce flames kind of, you just shake it up.
Yeah,
So
shake it.
cure
in it.
wounds is an infusion. So if you create a cure wounds potion, you have to drink it.
Yeah.
To get it back.
Fairy fire, I can
fire
throw
is
it.
a volatile, so it
Sweet.
explodes
Yes.
wherever you throw it.
That's what I was hoping.
Now, volatiles work this way. And let's see, where's my dice bag? There it is. Volatiles work this way. Basically, what happens is you. I don't even need that. You throw. You choose a spot and you say, I want to put it there.
Uh-huh.
You roll an attack roll.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Using strength.
Yeah, it's a thrown weapon attack. All right, so it's a strength attack roll. You
Crap.
roll a ranged attack roll. What you do is the DC is 10. Okay, or well, let's do it this way. Yeah, the DC is 10 plus 1 for every square over 10 feet that it is away from you. So if you're here and you want to put it here, then the DC is just 10.
Cool.
It's 11 here, 12 here, 13 here.
Okay, so say I'm in Flower Shroud, who has a 15-foot reach.
That doesn't matter because it's a throne.
Okay, yeah, but if I extend my hand 15
Oh, and then drop it. I
and
see
then
what
drop
you're
it.
saying. Then that would be the same. It would be an attack roll.
Object
DC
interaction?
10.
Oh, okay.
But it's still an attack roll. That would make it DC 10. I see what you're saying.
That's pretty
But what happens is if you pass the save, it lands right there. If you fail the save, you roll a D8.
Oh, crap.
Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Or
7. Yeah, a
scatterback.
D8. And so we would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you go this way, the number it failed by.
Go backwards the
The
number
number
it
it failed by. Now, if I got a different number, if I got 1, 2, it would go 1, 2, go that way, the number it failed by.
Okay, cool.
But it's a pretty easy DC.
Yeah.
It's not ever going to be hard unless you're
And
trying
it's,
to make
and
a
it's
huge
neat
long
because you cast the spell when you make the potion, so you
Yeah.
don't actually have to be able to cast the spell when you throw
Right.
the
I
potion.
know. That's,
And you
that's the
you
unique
expend
part.
the spell slot when you make the potion, and it takes
And you expend concentration.
and if it's concentration, the concentration has to be while you're making it.
Fairy
so
fire.
fairy fire.
So to create it,
Yeah.
as an
that's-
action
it's-
to activate the volatile, you throw it, blah 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 blah. To activate, here we go.
So I'm only
create-
going to make these at night.
There we go. The alchemical admixture version of a spell takes 1 hour per level of the spell to create. 1 hour for a cantrip as well.
Cool.
So all the ones you have right now take 1 hour to make. You must have mastered the alchemical formula and copied it into your book of alchemical formulas, and you must have your book on hand. Then you expend alchemical regents. 50 gold for a cantrip, 100 for a first level spell, 300 for a second. Yeah, that's what's been killing us on money in Strahd. 300 for a
Except that
second.
monies are still largely.
That's true. And 1,000 for a third. Then
Well, I'm not going to make any of these potions then.
Not
you must also expend
You're
a
in
spell
debt forever.
slot
Yeah.
of the spell's level or first level to create an alchemical admixture of a cantrip.
I'm
And you
never
must
going to make
expend this
alchemy.
slot even if you can cast the spell as a ritual. The process requires concentration. At the end of the creation time, you make an ability check using an appropriate set of tools against a DC 10 plus level of the spell that you were preparing as an admixture.
Colby, I'm a college kid, alright? I don't have this kind of goal.
And then on a failure, you neither create the admixture nor expend the slot, but you do expend 50% of the regent cost
Okay.
and suffer an alchemical mishap. But I'll say this, I've been running a character with this since level 4, who's now level 10, and I've never failed as one of these checks. So,
That's true.
Well, I'm not worried about failing the check. I just don't have
You
gold.
Well, I mean, we do currently.
That's
Well,
not
he
worth
doesn't.
it. Yeah.
That's true. He doesn't.
And I was going to
His
use my
shit is
gold.
going to the Erie.
Yeah.
what's it going
Oh.
to? Oh, right, the
Yeah.
debt. Yeah.
That's why there's no point in me making
So-
anything right now.
Yeah.
Tudaila does, however, say, now, in this temple, I don't know what you'll find there. I know that it's been lost for a long time. I've been doing some research. The last thing I know about it is that it was being used as a place to make powerful weapons for a war with the deep goblins.
Ooh.
She says, then suddenly it went dark. We don't know what happened. She says, however,
Interesting.
you're welcome, of course. If you find any of these weapons or artifacts, you can keep them yourself.
Oh.
We don't need them. What we need is the temple operating. So as long as you don't take anything crucial to the temple's operation,
Which would
you're in the
include
clear. What's that?
Which would include what?
Are there any relics that we should be wary of?
Not that I know of. We don't know what was there. We just know that in the ancient times it was being used to create these relics. We don't know what was made.
But it's unlikely we're going to come across Arnhold's axe.
I would be very surprised if you came across the axe of a god.
I think we will
Dang
not be
it.
keeping that if we find it.
I understand.
I would.
It's a great
axe.
Ah,
No,
then
you
I
would
wouldn't.
It can't be that great.
It's a god's axe.
It's lost though. Like if it was great,
Yeah,
we
like
wouldn't know where it
Wendell.
was.
Like who even cares about him?
What about the daggers and the shield that?
So you get 24 daggers, each of them of different make.
Cool.
There's a Solmathi dagger. There's a couple Thrym daggers. There's a couple Canaan daggers. There's 2 Narween daggers, a Gueronian dagger, some Orc daggers. There's some Outlander daggers. Like there's all kinds of stuff. So a variety of daggers.
But they're all just nice but regular daggers. What about the daggers that not Layla, Thela was using?
There's regular daggers as well. They're wicked
just
curved blades,
cool.
but they're just regular daggers.
That's neat.
What about ones that have poison?
I'm gonna grab one.
She didn't have any poison on her.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna have one just for.
One of hers,
Yeah,
just like a
neat.
memento.
Yeah.
What about that shield? Just a fine shield.
That's a fine shield.
Cool.
It's honestly, it's really not even a fine shield. It just kind of is a shield.
Yeah.
It's a wooden shield. It's not particularly well made. It's a facade.
Cool.
Yeah. It holds all his knives.
Knives.
To stab
It's narfs.
Is nice.
Haley's not allowed to have those.
Oh my god,
No.
really? You shut up.
You're not allowed to have
When
narfs.
she was little, the waiter brought silverware to their table.
Here's the story.
Yeah, the waiter brought silverware to her table and handed her a pack of silverware, and she took the knife out and hands it back to him and says, "I'm not allowed to have narfs."
Ha! Embarrassment.
Do that.
Right. Okay. So we're gonna spend the night here, I suppose, and then head
Please.
out in the morning.
That's
Yeah.
true. And we only have 20 minutes left, so I think we're going to call it
Yeah.
early because we don't have
Sorry.
time to actually do anything significant.
Sorry, guys, but we did solve the mystery, and so next time.
We found the murderer, and we are now level 4. Since we're
Oh,
gonna
do
take
you want
a
to hear
long
the
rest.
experience you're going to get?
Yeah.
Oh, from the murder mystery?
From the murder mystery. So you get whatever you had before.
A
That
million?
you hadn't applied yet.
2, 8,
Plus-
7.
Wait,
2877.
For solving the murder mystery.
Yeah, I'll write that down right away.
For solving the murder, you get 2,000 experience.
Each.
Each. So for solving the murder, you get 2,000 experience each.
Yeah.
However, you don't get the 1,000 that you would have gotten
For the
outside
cheating.
of thing if you had been able to prove the cheating.
Dang it.
Was there cheating?
There was cheating.
Knew it!
No, he did cheat.
Yeah.
Would you like to know
Yeah.
the answer?
Yes, I would.
Yeah,
like to know the answer?
Listen,
Stay tuned.
so
Get
here's
out
our
now if you
sort
don't
of,
want spoilers. So.
Here's what really happened.
Wait.
Now, I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife," said Mr. Green. No, so
Sleep with my wife.
And then Tim Curry made a wide smile. No, basically what happened is this. I'm gonna go through this because it's fairly complicated.
Oh, good.
Alright.
That's probably why we didn't figure it out.
It is very complicated.
Are you saying we're all
this
dumb?
is the
Yes.
same murder mystery that I run for my students every year.
Well,
Normally,
now they know.
That's okay. This year it's a different one. I change it every year, but this is what I ran from last year, so I meant to say every class period. But I'm doing a different one this year. The last year I ran this murder mystery for my students, only it was set in the Wild West.
Mhm.
And so here is what happened. And in there, 2 of my classes figured it out. 2 of my
Oh man, that makes me feel awful.
But
They have
remember,
more
each
time.
of them was playing one of these characters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they weren't the outside
Right,
perspective.
they were all inside perspective, and they all had different things,
Oh,
I
and
knew
goals and objectives.
We talked about this. I knew the
She
answer.
knew the answer.
Yeah.
I was wondering. if
You
she
were the
figured it
worst.
I just didn't put it together.
out.
that
Yeah,
they
I
were
changed
the
enough
same.
of it that it didn't. So what's happening is that Lufir, at the Deep Roads Company, they're not as rich as the High Mountains Company, and so he couldn't offer as much money. So Brandir originally was going to sell to High Mountains and Mervyn because he doesn't care if Caneth or Thermocath trade, and he doesn't care about any of that. He just wanted the extra money.
Yeah.
However, Bello convinced him to sell to Deep Roads as a favor to him because Bello cares deeply about his faith. So he was going to settle Lufir, and he offered him a low enough deal. He lowballed him on the offer to say basically like, if I'll let you purchase this land for 9 bars instead of the 10 that you're offering me, if you can use the other bar to go around the temple. And he said yes. Mervyn didn't like that so much, and so what Mervyn did is he decided that he was going to try to persuade him otherwise. First, he increased his price. He offered more money, and when that didn't work, he got Thala to go and threaten Bello by telling Branrir that she was going to hurt Bello. And that looked like it was going to work for a while, but when Branrir told Bello that he was going to change what was happening, Bello again argued with him until he decided not to. So then that put Branrir in a tough spot. He knew Bello would get hurt if he didn't take this deal, but he decided, you know what, I'm going to trust my son. I'm going to do what my son wants me to do. And so he decided to go ahead and sell to Lufir. So he made a verbal agreement with Lufir. However, then that night he got drunk. And against his better judgment, he had been drinking with Flegg. The two of them were just hanging out and drinking at the games house when Thefram came in and started egging him on.
Branrir stole his dice. It was in the pouch, and then they ripped the pouch open, and someone has the dice.
So, you're right.
Oh.
Close, you're close. It's not the die that was in the pouch.
Yeah.
But, so, Flegg noticed during the game, he wasn't as drunk as the other two, he noticed that Thefram was cheating. However, this same night, he had been rejected in finality by Branrir.
Sorry, I didn't want to tell.
And so, in frustration, he made a deal with Thefram. He said that he wouldn't go to the
Authorities.
With this if Thefram cut him in on the money.
Wow.
He also had Branrir's map and was planning on using Branrir's map to go ahead and find this mithril lode. However, Branrir's map.
That's what you call a crazy ex-girlfriend?
Branrir's map was the one that he had was a fake.
Oh.
He didn't have one of the real halves.
Oh.
So yeah, y'all didn't ask much about the map halves.
Crap.
So he didn't have one of the real halves. So the half he had is fake.
So they don't actually know where the thing is.
Yeah.
Crap.
Of course, this is a lot of character
We're
knowledge.
in, we're in trouble.
Oh,
now.
so we are in trouble now.
Crap.
So
I'm in trouble.
wait, what? So there was
Flegg's
half of the map was fake. Branrir didn't trust him entirely because he knew he was going to be rejecting him that night. This half of the map, he was going to give him half of the mithril load, but this half of the map was sort of a consolation prize, and he knew with Flegg's temper, Flegg would take that harshly, and so he decided to give him a fake half of the map, just in case he decided to turn on him,
Son of a
which
gun.
was smart because he was going to.
So Thefram, we have the real half
We
of
have
the map,
A real half of a map.
but since the other one, so that was in that pouch that we need to find.
Maybeck didn't know anything. Maybeck was
It's
just trying
just
to get
useless.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank God.
Yeah,
Get him out of here, man.
Yeah, he didn't really care. Mervyn had a couple things going on. One, he had not intended, just like you said, he had not intended to kill the guy when everything else failed. He went to Branrir, and he was roughing him up. He had previously, he had decided he was going to make a deal with Thefram. That he talked to Thefram, and he was pretty sure Thefram was going to sell to him because he could offer more money. But he needed to make sure the money went to Thefram. That said, Thefram told him, one of my dice has been stolen, and if they prove I've been cheating, I don't get the land. So you have to help me with this somehow. He didn't know how, but he said, you got to find that dice. So Thefram wasn't trying to do anything illegal other than cheating, which isn't illegal, it's just not
Yeah, it's just wrong.
right. So Thefram told him, you have to do something about this. So Mervyn went to Branrir thinking he must have the dice and tried to rough him up. And it clearly, went haywire when Thala was strangling him and the stress caused him to have a heart attack, and he gave out. His body gave out on him. So Mervyn and Thala both fled immediately, which the noise of that attracted Tudila, who was walking home, and went in
That
to find
son of a
Rhaegar's body.
gun.
So Tudila went in there, found the body. He was still like barely. He had a little bit of a pulse. She was like, "Oh, he's alive." Cut the bonds, but by the time she cut the bonds, he had finished dying.
Yeah.
And so, so she was like, "Oh shit, now it's gonna look like language." Sorry. She was like, "Oh, it's gonna look like I did this. So I need to fix this. I need to get out of here." So she fled. So the next day, or maybe it was that night, I don't remember off the top of my head. So then Mervyn went to Arbiter Krayloon. You didn't talk to him much at all.
We really didn't.
But Arbiter Krayloon, as it turns out,
Nice.
some 20 years ago, he fled to Thangordrim from Cordaldros after selling rich mining tunnels, which turned out to be loaded with nothing but fool's gold. And so he is actually a wanted man. And so,
Nice.
the only person here who knew this was Mervyn. There was one other, and I can't remember
You
who it
would
was.
think Mervyn would scream that out if he was
Well,
being...
but that's the thing. Mervyn, that's why the Arbiter was crying. The Arbiter's been trying to turn his life around, but Mervyn knows who he is and has a wanted poster with his face on it, and so was
Did we not find
blackmailing
it?
him. Yeah, no, you didn't ever search his person.
We asked in
Thefron's
MS
person?
Mervyn's person.
Yeah, he turned out all of his pockets.
He turned out his coin purses and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we said pockets.
So where was
Pockets
it
on
on his
anything.
person?
Where was it on his
Whatever.
person? He was carrying it in a rolled up tube under his coat. Hanging from his belt, but he just took out his coin purses because y'all were looking for a die specifically, and so that would have been hidden somewhere like that. And so Mervyn was blackmailing the judge and was telling him basically, look, if you don't rule in favor of Thefron, because he figured at this point, I don't know who has the die, it's gonna get found. So he ruled, he said, if you don't rule in favor of Thefron, I will tell everyone your dirty little secret. To make sure that he got the deal. Let's see.
Secrets are no fun.
What else is going on here?
Who has the die?
Who has the die?
Who has
That
it?
was Fleg. Fleg got the die. Yeah, I said Fleg. Fleg got the die. So the other real map piece was actually unknown to Barak. Bello has it.
Oh, Bella's got the whole thing.
So Bello has both.
He had both halves, yeah. So he actually might have corrected. I didn't think about that, but he might have corrected.
Okay, so we might still be okay.
You might still have a chance.
It seems like we'll be okay.
Yeah, because he now has two real
Well,
ones.
I guess we'll still be okay, but Bello is probably going to send his own guy.
Well, and the thing is this. Currently, he's assumed. Oh, so the one that this guy had, because he doesn't know Barak.
Oh, right.
So he hadn't known him since he was little. So he might think, oh, that one must be the fake then, or whatever. So he sent the two of them. He sent him off with currently what's a fake map. Now when he comes back, he'll say, oh, well, let's try this combination.
Yeah.
So he's got a couple chances here.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't
You
know how much
just send
time
that.
we have though.
Well, but you'd
I mean,
You've got
what?
something.
I mean, is Thefron gonna come after me in a temple? Good luck.
Why?
Why would Thefron come after you at all?
Because I only have 2 days to turn in a debt.
Well, no, Thefron's just gonna sell.
Yeah, he's not going to come get you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
the
it's not that
problem
you have
is
2
to
days
sell.
to turn in the debt. It's that in 2 days he's going to sell the land.
That's right.
So hopefully they could just send out a couple prospectors. They just go, all right, we got like 6 possibilities. Just you guys go check.
Yeah.
As if this isn't aggravating.
So Judge Mother, or Peaceable Mother Arthra, did have poison on her, and she had some fungus. Maybeck was right when he said that she had some strange poisons.
Maybe.
So that's the one thing that Maybeck did help you with. He was right that she
Except
did
that's
have
a
strange
herring.
poisons. Well, if you had failed, she was willing to use the poison if necessary to make sure that the temple is not destroyed. But now they basically come out and told you, we're going to kill people to make sure this temple is not destroyed. We're going to bring in our army.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's not really a secret at this point. You learned everything from Tudila. You learned everything from Lufir. You learned everything from
Gendry?
Thala. Thala was looking for the map because she had heard about it. Mervyn didn't know about it. but she had heard about the map, and when she cut open his purse, she was looking for the map.
And she's just some assassin from Norway.
Yeah, she came in and offered to work with Mervyn because she wanted to make sure that Kenneth got the route.
Got the deal.
No.
Did Gendry know about the dice at all?
Did Gendry know about the die? Let me double check, but I don't think he did.
Yeah.
He could have sworn he saw Flag pocket one of Thefron's dice, but he wouldn't say that unless really, really pressed and if confronted with something that made him distrust Flag, because he's very close with Flag.
Yeah.
And he also knows that Thefron's rolls weren't likely.
No.
He also,
So,
Gendry had seen Dogged before, when he was calling himself Barrock.
That's Barrock.
Yeah,
Just
he
in his
had
priest
he knew
garb.
that, but
Hadn't really put it together.
yeah, well, it's just you went to Barrock almost last,
Yeah.
so at that point you didn't talk to Gendry again after that.
So in a lot of ways, it comes down to the order in which you do things.
Yeah.
Just because it's a time.
Yeah, it's when you remember things.
Yeah,
Well, that's everything.
All right.
but you got most of it. You figured out.
We got the murder.
The murder, honestly, is the harder part. I feel like.
Well, it was worth twice as much experience points.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. So we should still be okay.
Holy shnikes, that was tough.
Doing all right. Partway
It
done.
seems like the company's not gonna try to go through the temple for very long. If
Yeah.
there's an army of the temple guards, they'll probably go. Well, we really. No, they've got spears. We should go around because they've got too many spears. We brought
Right,
shovels.
like a
they have too
construction
many.
company probably doesn't have too many armed people.
Yeah.
Wait, who? Mervin's people?
No.
No.
The other one.
Lufier's
Right.
people.
I
Like
think
if-
Mervin's people might.
Yeah, but if they don't come up with the money and they're like, well, we're going through the temple, and then they get there and
They're
there's
gonna
a
lose money.
there's a
when that
bunch of
army comes
dwarves
up.
just ready, they'll probably go. Well,
All right, everybody, we're gonna go.